So last winter, I wanted to do some winter camping, and I wanted to run a diesel heater all night. So that's when I started looking into power stations. I was originally going to go with the Jackery 1000, but then I learned I could get the EcoFlow DELTA2 with an extra battery for less money. So without hesitation, I went with the EcoFlow DELTA2. I had no idea I just made a critical choice when it comes to power stations and overlanding applications. So I've been using this power station for about 6 months now for all of my camping trips, and I'm going to do a little review. And the way I want to do it is, first I'm going to go over some quick specs and the app overview. Then I'm going to go into what I like about the EcoFlow, the critical difference between this and other power stations, and then lastly, what I don't like about it. And in case you do decide to pick up one of these for yourself, I have some affiliate links in the description. I would get a small commission and it would be appreciated, but if not, it's all good. Alright, so quick specs. I'm just going to go over a few that I think are very important for overlanding applications. And the first one being the battery chemistry of the power station. It's lithium iron phosphate chemistry, which all that means is that you can charge this thing and drain it for 3,000 cycles and it'll still be able to use all of its full capacity. After the 3,000 cycles, you can only use 80% of the capacity. So it's still usable, it's just not its full potential. Another big spec that I find important is the 1800 watt output. What this means for me is I can power pretty much any appliance I take camping without a problem. Alright, so now I'm just going to go over the app real quick. The app is really, it's really polished. I'd say this is definitely a really good app. Has everything you pretty much need. So the first thing you need to do is just create an account if you haven't already. You just need to use an email. Then once you do that, you connect to your DELTA2. And this is what the home screen looks like. So you have your charge meter there, and then you have inputs and outputs, and it'll show you what, how much power it's consuming or delivering. You can turn off all your AC ports by this little button. That turns it on. You can turn it off. Same for the 12 volt DC ports and then the USB. You can also go into settings right here. This little gear icon. You can change the charging speed. You can go all the way up to 1500 watts if you want to. Wouldn't recommend that. The optimize is about 500 watts. And you can go all the way down to 200 watts if you want. You can also go in here and change some other settings as well as update the firmware. So yeah, that's the app. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's get into what makes this good for overlanding. And the first thing for me is the form factor. I can easily put this into the back of my truck even with all my gear loaded into it. Compared to other power stations, this is very tall and slender, whereas others are very square and bulky. And this just makes packing much easier, which I think is a great advantage when you're going on road trips or truck camping, overlanding, like whatever. And the second thing is the 1800 watts output. What this allows me to do is pretty much power any cooking appliance, coffee maker, coffee grinder, charge any of my electronics without a problem. One thing that I really like about it is I can use my electric cooktop, and this allows me to avoid buying those 1 pound propane bottles from the store. They're really expensive, they don't last that long, and they create a lot of trash. So by cooking with electricity, this could save me money over the long time and then also make packing even easier. On my last camping trip, I used the EcoFlow to cook all my meals and charge all my appliances for a full day, and I still had 20% charge left. I could have easily ran a diesel heater over the night if I wanted to. And this brings me to another reason why the EcoFlow is good for overlanding, and that is expandability. I have a 2 kilowatt hour system made possible by this extra battery here, which is a 1 kilowatt hour battery. And this gives me more than enough power to use all of my appliances, charge all of my gear for a full day, and even more. You could probably run a diesel heater through the night or just cook another breakfast the next morning. However, if I wanted to do a full weekend trip, I would have to upgrade this to the 2 kilowatt hour battery for a total of 3 kilowatt hours, so that should give me plenty of charge for a full weekend. But that leaves one big problem though. What if I want to go on a week-long trip or even a longer trip? And this brings me to the critical difference between EcoFlow and other power stations when it comes to overlanding, and that is alternator car charging. There has been the DC to DC converter DIY trick made possible by Tinker's Adventure channel for a while, and this charges the power station to around 400 to 500 watts. With the new alternator charging system, you can charge around 800 watts. And what this means for overlanders and truck campers is that you can easily charge your power station while you're on trail throughout the day, and it'll be ready and topped off for camp all while running a fridge and keeping your drinks cold. So last winter, I made the decision to go with EcoFlow because I thought that would be more power for less money. If it was today though, I think the alternator car charging system would definitely sell me on the EcoFlow. The alternator car charger is kind of expensive to me, and I don't think that you can charge a spare battery and charge your PowerStation at the same time, because the plug goes into here from the car charger. And so that's a big deal breaker for me, because I want to charge both of these at the same time because I need the extra capacity for my camping needs. But the thing that I like about it is that it shows that EcoFlow has maybe the Overlander and truck camper in mind, more so than the other brands. So hopefully we can see some more cool camping innovations on down the line from them. Alright, so with all that being said, let's go into what I don't like about the system. And honestly, it's hard to think of anything. But for me, it's definitely the limited functionality of the extra battery. The only thing it does is increase capacity, which is huge, but what I would really like is some 12 volt outlets, some USB ports in the front that I could use. I think that would be very useful for everybody. And then another complaint that I hear a lot is the connection cable between the two. It's very rigid, and also the connector can only go in straight. It would be nice to have a connector that could swivel to any angle, and then even a 90-degree connector would be useful. So if you're in the market for a PowerStation and you do a lot of overlanding, or you just go on long road trips, you like to go camping, I definitely think the EcoFlow is the best PowerStation for that application. With that being said, I hope this helped. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.